Only got like 30 seconds.
So the mic's are on.
Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and reconvene into open session at 7 o'clock prompt. Okay, first, Ms. Mayfield, can we get a roll call first?
Present.
Vice President Wilson.
Present.
Present. Trustee Gonzalez.
Present.
Trustee Cole.
Present.
Trustee Sheridan.
Present.
Trustee Toretto.
Present.
All board members present.
Great, thank you very much. Okay, and a report on closed session action. The Board of Education took no reportable action in closed session. And with that, Trustee Sheridan, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Toledo, will you read our mission statement?
Yes. The mission of the San Leandro Unified School District is to educate students to achieve academic excellence in order to become confident, collaborative, and engaged citizens in a community rich in heritage and diverse in culture, where we value our traditions and embrace innovation.
Thank you. Trustee Tate, would you read our equity statement?
The Board of Trustees believes that the diversity that exists among the district's community of students, staff, parents, guardians, and community members are integral to the district's vision, mission, and goals. Addressing the needs of the most marginalized learners requires recognition of the inherent value of diversity and acknowledgement that educational excellence requires a commitment to equity in the opportunities provided to students and the resulting outcomes.
Thank you. And next is the approval of the agenda. Trustees, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. I'll second.
It's been moved by Trustee Fuller, seconded by Trustee Gonzalez. All in favor? And that goes 7-0. The agenda has been approved. Moving into our legal statement tonight, members of the audience who wish to address the board are asked to complete the yellow card available at the entrance and submit it to the board's executive assistant. Speakers who have completed the card will be called when the item is reached on the agenda or for non-agenda items during the public testimony. Cards are to be turned in before the item is reached on the agenda. Please note that the meeting is being recorded. State law prohibits the Board of Education from taking any action on or discussing items that are not on the posted agenda, except to A, briefly respond to statements made or questions posed by the public in attendance, B, ask questions or clarification, C, provide a reference to a staff member or other resource for factual information in response to the inquiry, or D, ask a staff member to report back on the matter at the next meeting and or put it on a future agenda. Government Code 54954.2A. With that, is there any public testimony on non-agenda items? Seeing no public testimony on non-agenda items, we'll move straight into the Bonner Board. Director Aaron Kerrigan.
Good evening, board members. I'm brief tonight. There's not a lot of updates since last week update, but we are moving right along. Kinley is getting their stage area painted as well as their NPR room painted. Currently, we're getting the teachers moved out of those rooms so they can move directly right into there and start painting those rooms as well. And then we're doing some demolition on the kitchen there at Kinley also. So moving right along. Muir has had more infrastructure put in. They're very close to doing their footings, and then once footings are done, they'll go ahead and do the slab. And then at the high school, we've got still demo work going on, and they're in the process of digging footings for the front of the school because there's a lot of planters, ramps that are going to go on in there. So they're right in the middle of that. And Bancroft modulars are moving right along. They're starting to put up the tack wall in the new buildings there, and so that's all I got for the report. Any of you got any questions?
Great, thank you. As for questions, Trustee Osinski.
I just want to make a comment. I want to pass along a compliment I got on Saturday at an event, and quite a few people commented on how nice it is to see all the renovations going on around the city. They said it's great to know we're taking such great care of our schools. I just want to pass that along.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. That's great.
Okay, any further questions, any comments? Great, thank you. Okay, next up under presentations, 2022-23 original budget presentation, Dr. Kevin Collins.
All right. I hope you can hear me okay. With this, I'm going to go ahead and present the original budget for 2022-23. In that, I'm going to talk about the annual budget cycle, where we are, the 2022 budget reserve update, looking at our ending fund balance, multi-year projection, talk about COVID funding and other new programs, and enrollment update in ADA, and then next steps here. First of all, here's a look at where we are in the budget cycle for the 2022-23 budget cycle. We know that the governor's budget came out in January, the original proposal, as well as the May revised. We're now on the third step, which is the original budget adoption here at the end of June. We've got a long way to go until the final step to wrap up 22-23. Here's a look at the 22-23 general fund revenues. I've put there. You look at the 4 standard categories: LCFF, federal, state, and local. You'll see a big jump up in LCFF. That's a couple things there. COLA of 6.56% at this point, as well as that unduplicated increase. Because of our increase this year, that takes 3 years to fully phase in. That what brings up that full change there. We have a federal increase, and that is moving into using our federal COVID dollars and recognizing the revenue the same year that they're being spent. On the state, we have a couple things going on. One is the loss of some of the COVID dollars to use up our state dollars, but those are being replaced by a significant increase in the expanded learning opportunity program. So it nets out to a little over $500,000, but it's really the big increase on ELOC that you see there. There's a small adjustment at this point on local revenue. So an increase of about $7.4 million in our projected revenues for next year. Here's another way to look at it. The same $144 million revenue for next year. You can see that LCFF is a smaller piece of the smaller slice of the pie than it is typically, again, because of ELOC and some of the COVID funding, but almost 71% of our funding is brought in through LCFF. Federal is much higher than normal, again, because of primarily because of COVID dollars. You can see other state at 14%, local at about 6%. Moving on to our expenditures for next year, we have a look at where we are with our 22-23 budget, and you can see some increases there. Now, some of these increases are just a factor of where we have been with the difficulty of finding staffing this year. So we know at this point in the year, we've gone the year with a number of vacancies unfilled, and we're not budgeting in June on vacancies, taking those dollars off the budget for vacancies. However, we are budgeting, assuming that all of our positions are filled for next year. So the increases on staff, the first 3 lines are certificated, classified, as well as benefits. It's full staffing, a few new positions in there, as well as budgeting COLA increase for a projected salary increase next year. We know we're going to have a salary increase, so working on what that's going to be. You see a small increase, I should say, not small, but $1 million decrease for books and supplies. Some of the things that we bought in 21-22, we don't anticipate to need again in 22-23. Services, you can see that big ELOC increase there. That's showing up as the almost $4.8 million increase on services. Capital outlay, you're seeing some money moving there that you don't normally see, and that's the district office design process moving forward. And then a couple other things. You see a total of just over $150 million budget. Not too long ago, we talked about being $100 million district. We are now crossing the $150 million threshold. So some big increases here in the last few years for the district. Here's another look with a pie chart of where we are. Certificated salaries being the biggest part of it, classified salaries and benefits. Now, I want to point out, we have seen bigger numbers for personnel in the past. It's about 78% of what we're looking at now. The big change there is ELOC. ELOC is really that big. What's changing the percentage because it's a contracted service primarily. So it's changing what this pie looks like. But 78% of our total cost is from certificated, classified, as well as benefits. Ending fund balance We know again, due to difficulties of hiring staff, we have many unfilled positions during this year. We estimate the following ending fund balance as of 6/30/2022. We're looking at just about $18.8 million in unrestricted and about $13 million in restricted ending fund balance. That restricted ending fund balance, as normal, is a big part of it is our redevelopment agency dollars for facilities, other local donations, and then some COVID and other one-time funds intended to be spent prior to June 30th, 2024. Note that those redevelopment agency dollars are now going to be brought down as our district office starts to get ready. That's going to be the primary source for funding for the new district office facility. Here's a look at our multi-year projection that's included in the budget. You can see revenues increasing from 22-23 to 23-24. You see a fall off from 149 million to 142 million. That primarily is due to COVID. These 3-year COVID funds are recognizing as they're being spent. You see a big drop off there. The expenditures, however, you don't see it on the expense side. It really is there, but what I did is put most of the district office construction in that 24-25 timeframe, so it sort of covers up the loss of COVID funds. So again, on COVID dollars, the roughly $24 million are going to be spent by June 30th, 2024. Our assumptions here are flat enrollment for 22-23 and beyond, 95% attendance. Hoping to see our enrollment inch back up. We have a 6.56% COLA built into 22-23, 5.38% in 23-24, and 4.02% in 24-25. Overall, the Department of Finance COLAs. It includes negotiated salary increases for 22-23, and that should say projected negotiated salary increases, right? We have not finished bargaining for those for that year, but we're just putting something in there as a placeholder at this point. And we know that again, COVID funds received and used through the 23-24 school year, they're not included in that 24-25. COVID funding update, the district is budgeting about $8 million per year for this 3-year time frame from 21-22 through 23-24. Hope to hire for all positions, including 2 additional K-5 intervention teachers for 22-23. We anticipate all COVID funded services to end in June 2024. And we hope to spend less, hopefully if COVID goes our way, we'll spend less on testing and PPE in 22-23 and have more available for direct services to students. On the enrollment side, our unduplicated count will continue. We will be able to continue to use ARIES to collect our free reduced information for 22-23. We've been receiving higher federal reimbursement rates during the pandemic to support our food service, and those higher reimbursement rates are going to continue into next year. The state has come out and said they are going to backfill those federal higher rates from the federal government. The state is going to take that over next year. Enrollment and ADA. The majority of our district funding comes from average daily attendance. It really is our bread and butter for what we do. Students must attend to generate ADA funding. Enrollment has declined, as we've said, by 355 students from our 1920. That is a 3.9% decrease over the last couple of years. And we know that our reported ADA was 88% this year, much lower than our normal 95%. That was a factor of COVID, particularly Omicron in January and February timeframe. Average daily attendance calculation. The higher up, we know that it's this year's ADA or last year's ADA if the district is in declining enrollment. In January, the governor put out a proposal to call for the last 3-year average ADA. But that doesn't quite help if for a year like this, where you have one really low year, it just sort of spreads the pain over 3 years if you're doing that 3-year average, if you have a really particularly low year. So there's a May revised proposal basically to cover up this year's attendance percentage with whatever we had as attendance percentage in 1920. For us, that would be 95%. So hopefully that's something that goes through. The legislature is fighting that a little bit, but we'll see what happens with it. And finally, the governor and legislature are in discussions on what the final language is going to look like on ADA calculation. Next steps, the legislature passed a placeholder budget, and that basically made it so that they could continue to get paid. It's a 1,000-page budget, but it doesn't really say much about what K-12 is going to look like next year. So we're going to have to wait. And my sort of guess at this point is that's going to sort of dribble into July or perhaps beyond. So we really know what the budget is going to look like. A little bit of a return to the olden days where budgets weren't passed sometimes for weeks or months into the new year. Budget and LCAP hearings were both held on June 14th, and we have the budget and LCAP adoption tonight on June 21st. We know that our new fiscal year, with or without a state budget, is going to begin on July 1st. And depending on what that final budget deal looks like, we may have to adopt the 45-day budget revision in August. Things are much different. I've never had to do one in my time as a CBO, but it's always the first time for us. And that's it for the budget presentation. If you have any questions or comments on the budget.
Perfect. Trustees, questions, comments? Trustee Oshinski.
On slide 2 on the revenue section, there's an increase of 7.4 million. I'm assuming the majority of that is one-time funding.
I'm sorry, that was which page you're on?
Slide 2, when you're talking about revenues, the increase in revenue.
Yeah, the 7.2. Let's see, you're looking at the 7.2, 7.4 overall. It's a combination of a good chunk of that is ongoing. Actually, at this point, the 6.56% COLA that we have, along with there is COVID funding in that. Comparing that to 21 and 22, we had roughly $8 million in COVID funding in 21, 22. So there's not a big change in the coming year based on COVID. Most of that is really going to be COLA as well as unduplicated now.
Thank you.
Okay, further questions, comment? Great, thank you, Dr. Collins.
Thank you.
Okay, moving straight into reports. First up, correspondence.
Clerk's report for June 21st, 2022, June 14th, SLUSD Communications, welcome new San Leandro High School Assistant Principal, Ms. Barloga. June 15th, K-12 Dive, 3 ways to navigate book challenges and lesson planning. June 16th, CIO Dive, how to upskill your tech teams. June 16th, Maria David, classified vacancy at Garfield Elementary. June 17th, Michelle Mayfield, upcoming events. June 17th, California Attorney General Rob Bonta's weekly update. June 18th, ASBJ brief, June 2022. June 18th, Cal Matters, the week's top stories. June 20th, All Here Education Summer is the perfect time to set up successful fall attendance and engagement. June 20th, San Leandro Chamber of Commerce Job Fair, registrations due by June 20th. Job fair on July 12th from 2 to 5 p.m. And then on the 21st, update, San Leandro Chamber of Commerce, last chance to secure your spot as an exhibitor. Since Monday, June 20th was a holiday, Juneteenth, the date has been extended to secure space at the upcoming job fair. Slots available for all tiers. If you have questions, please reach out via email to Jessica P@sanleandrochamber.com, and that's Jessica P as in Paul at sanleandrochamber.com. June 21st, Alameda County Supervisor Dave Brown's bi-weekly newsletter, and January 21st, CIO Dive 2022 IT compliance benchmark survey results are in. This concludes my clerk's report for June 21st, 2022.
Great, thank you, Trustee Tate. Union representative reports, seeing none of our union representatives in the audience, I'll move to board committee reports, communications and advocacy.
We did not meet this week.
Thank you. Curriculum policy.
It'll be September 26th.
Thank you. Facilities and technology.
F&T did meet last Wednesday, June 15th. We started off as always with our technology update from Larry Simon. We had a discussion regarding the office expansion the IT office expansion update. We also had a brief discussion regarding a feasibility study for the San Leandro High rooftop garden. We had a number of items in consent to keep these projects going and just some cleanup. We did review 3 change orders to some existing projects, all Measure N projects. And then we have some action items that were moved forward to the board for your consideration. to continue these projects. One of them notably will be the Halkin Elementary sign, replacement sign. And that is actually, wanted to make sure and point out that that is not being paid for or funded with Measure N funds. That's actually coming out of, was it Fund 01. I know there were some questions and comments from the community about that one. And the rest of the items you will see later on for action. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you. Next up is finance.
We met on June 15th and we discussed the 2022-23 original budget report and presentation. That concludes my report.
Great, thank you. Next is drug, alcohol, tobacco, education, date period.
Date will meet September 7th.
Thank you very much. Next up is the consent agenda. Trustees, are there any polls tonight? Okay, with that, with seeing that there are no polls, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All right, it's been moved by trustee Oshinsky, seconded by trustee Sheridan. All in favor? That goes 7-0. Thank you very much. We're moving into action and discussion items. As usual, please stop me if there are any questions or comments. I will be watching. Under general services, 1A, addendum to the term of employment agreement between the San Leandro Unified School District Board of Education and Dr. Mike McLaughlin, Superintendent.
I'll move that.
I'll second that.
It's been moved by trustee Oshinsky, seconded by trustee Sheridan. All in favor? Goes 7-0. Thank you very much. Moving to 1B, addendum to the term of employment agreement between the San Leandro Unified School District Board of Education and Dr. Sunal Patel, Assistant Superintendent.
I'll move 1B.
I'll second.
It's been moved by trustee Tate, seconded by trustee Gonzalez. All in favor? Goes 7-0. Thank you very much. Moving on to 1C, addendum to the term of employment agreement between the San Leandro Unified School District Board of Education and Dr. Zarina Zanipatin, Assistant Superintendent.
I'll move that.
I'll second it.
It's been moved by trustee Oshinsky, seconded by trustee Gonzalez. All in favor? All right, that goes 7-0. Moving to 1D, addendum to the term of employment agreement between the San Leandro Unified School District Board of Education and Dr. Kevin Collins, Assistant Superintendent.
I'll move item D.
I'll second.
It's been moved by trustee Prola, seconded by trustee Oshinsky. All in favor? And that goes 7-0. Thank you very much. Under business and operations, 2A, San Leandro Unified School District Original Budget 2022-23.
I'll move 2A.
I'll second.
It's been moved by trustee Tate, seconded by trustee Toledo. All in favor? That goes 7-0. Thank you very much. Moving to 2B, approve new cafeteria manager salary schedule, which includes vacation.
I'll move that.
I'll second it.
It's been moved by trustee Oshinsky, seconded by trustee Gonzalez. All in favor? That goes 7-0. Moving to administrative services, 3A, expanded learning opportunity program, ELOP manager job description.
I'll move 3A.
I'll second that.
It's been moved by trustee Toledo and seconded by trustee Sheridan. All in favor? Great, that goes 7-0. Moving on to educational services, 4A, adoption of the 2022-2023 local control accountability plan.
I'll move 4A.
I'll second it.
It's been moved by trustee Tate, seconded by trustee Prola. All in favor? And that goes 7-0. Moving to 4B, contracted services for mental health consultation in San Leandro Unified School District under the School-Based Behavioral Health Initiative for 2022-2023.
You can have it.
I'll move 4B.
I'll second it.
It's been moved by trustee Sheridan, seconded by trustee Gonzalez. All in favor? That goes 7-0. 4C, approval of Kaiser Permanente grant award for 2022-2023.
I'll move 4C.
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved by trustee Tate, seconded by trustee Pola. All in favor? All right, that's 7-0. Moving to 4D, purchase of Eureka K-12 math curriculum printed materials and Amplify K-5 notebook for school year 2022-2023.
I'll move 4D.
I'll second it.
It's been moved by trustee Pola, seconded by trustee Gonzalez. All in favor? That's 7-0. Moving into facilities and construction, 5A, Golden Bay Fence Plus Ironworks Incorporated, Kupka Automatic Swing Gate and Fence at Muir Middle School and Hulkin Elementary School.
I'll move 5A.
I'll second.
It's been moved by trustee Toledo and seconded by trustee Oshinski. All in favor? It goes 7-0. Moving to 5B, Bay Signs PO contract, new lettering on the front of Hulkin Elementary School.
I'll move 5B.
And I'll second it.
It's been moved by trustee Gonzalez and it's been seconded by trustee Tate. All in favor? Goes 7-0. Moving into 5C, proposed budget for asphalt slurry and seal finish on multiple sites.
I'll move 5C.
I'll second it.
It's been moved by trustee Sheridan, seconded by trustee Gonzalez. All in favor? That goes 7-0. Moving to 5D, Aero Sign Company Kupka, new marquee sign at Muir Middle School.
I'll move 5D.
second,
It's been moved by trustee Tate, seconded by trustee Oshinski. All in favor? That goes 7-0. Thank you very much. Moving on to cabinet reports, Dr. Mike McLaughlin, superintendent.
All right, I'll be quick. I didn't, not much has happened since the last board meeting, but I just want to thank everybody for the hard work this year and hope everybody gets some time to decompress and get ourselves ready for another great school year. So again, thank you and have a good summer. That's it.
All right, next up is Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services, Dr. Sonal Patel. Thank you very much. Next up, Assistant Superintendent of Administrative Services, Dr. Zarina Zanipati.
Yeah, I don't have a report other than to say I have a joyous summer and rest.
Thank you very much. Next up, Assistant Superintendent of Business and Operations, Dr. Kevin Collins.
And I'll be brief. Aaron Kerrigan and I met this morning with our bond representative from Dale Scott to begin looking at cash flow for the remainder of the series, our bond series that we're on right now, as we look forward to groundbreaking on Lincoln and the high school gym. We want to make sure that we have enough cash in the bank to continue with those, and looking at a potential sale of another series so that we continue that. We'll come back with the board in fall with what that looks like and some of the suggestions and recommendations from Dale Scott. That's it.
Thank you very much. Next, into board representative reports, Alameda County School Boards Association.
I'll just repeat what I stated last week. We'll resume our meeting in probably September, the new school year.
Great, thank you very much. Next is Eden Area Regional Occupational Program, and I'll make this one short, just a few bullet points here. We adopted the 2022-23 budget. We approved bell schedules and various calendars, and we appointed and signed our new superintendent, Blaine Torpy, into action. Please get into work on July 1st. And if any of you have a chance to interact with Linda, she's still at ROP as the Chief Operating Officer. Say hi and thank you for her service. She has been an exemplary superintendent for ROP, and she's just been amazing to work with. So please get a chance to text her, email her, say thank you for your service and thank her for all the work she's done for ROP. And next up, the next meeting will be August 4th, 5:45 via Zoom or at ROP Center. Okay, next report will be Mid-Alameda County SELPA.
So I'll have a virtual meeting on the 23rd, Thursday, and then Monday, we will have a virtual meeting to approve the local plan.
Perfect, thank you very much. Next up is City Disaster Preparedness Council.
Our next meeting is scheduled for August, but most likely will occur in September.
Okay, thank you very much. Moving into future business. Trustees, are there any items for consensus? Trustee Gonzalez.
I'm sorry, I have another one. So the commissioner that represents us to the Recreation and Parks Commission for the city, Mr. Shapiro, has resigned. And so we need to go through a process to select a new representative for us. And so I would like to, last time what we did was we appointed a 3-person committee that figured out what the job description was going to be, a posting schedule, and then also went through all of the interview process and then came with a recommendation to the board. So I'm proposing the same process we used last time, and that I'm willing to serve on it, but I need 2 other people that are willing to do it. And I want to have it ready to post when the new school year starts. So not over the summer, but wait until the new school year starts to actually advertise it. Does that make sense?
Okay, great. I believe you have a consensus. I was watching nod since we went
Yes.
through.
So
Trustee
now I need
Kowalski
2 people.
Expressed his interest. Anybody else interested?
Go ahead.
Well, either Diane or I, either one, but between
Okay.
the two of us, we'll figure out who has the time.
Yeah, so,
You can go ahead, because I've done
Okay.
it before.
Okay.
I have trustee Oshinsky and then trustee Sheridan. Perfect. So,
Awesome. Thank you very much. Any other items for consensus, trustees? Okay, with that being said, moving into additional suggestions and comments from board members. Trustee Prola, you're up first.
I really have absolutely nothing to say tonight, but I hope you all have a wonderful summer, and I look forward to the start of school.
Thank you very much. Trustee Gonzalez.
I was in Chicago and now I'm going to Texas. And so I look forward to July, coming back and having July just be in San Leandro. And so, anyway, I am enjoying the post-COVID life of going places, but I've decided that I preferred the COVID staying home more than the going part. So anyways, hopefully you all have a great summer and a great break.
Thank you. Trustee Toledo.
For me, just thank you. It really does take a village to support me and, leading me through this whole entire first school year that I've been able to work with all of you. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Trustee Sheridan.
Well, I want to thank everybody for another year. Trustees, Dr. McLaughlin, cabinet, staff. A little difficult, a little trying at times, but as I told Dr. McLaughlin, SLUSD strong. Got through it, and hope you guys enjoy your summer. Come back rested for another year to do it all over again. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Trustee Tate.
I echo everything that's been said, and I just wish everyone have a restful, peaceful summer and gear up for the school year starting back, because it'll come before we know it.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Trustee Oshinsky.
I want to echo my colleagues' statements and thank all of you, each and every one of you, for making it through another difficult year, but we did it. We got to the side, and I wish you a great summer. I hope you all get some time off, and happy Pride.
All right. Ditto. I mean, yeah, just a massive thank you to everybody that we're looking at here. You all lifted San Leandro Unified through a very interesting year. And to everybody who's not in attendance, our teachers who have put their blood, sweat, and tears into our district and to the lives of our students. And so just a big, massive thank you to the San Leandro Unified community. And have a great summer. With that, the next regular meeting of the board will be Wednesday, August 3rd, 2022. And there go the lights. Trustees, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Give it to Trustee Gonzalez.
Okay, it's been moved by Trustee Oshinsky and seconded by Trustee Gonzalez. All in favor? 7-0.
There you go.
7:33.
Yay.